Welcome! This video will explain how you can obtain a common shortcode from how to apply to its commercial launch. So, what are common shortcodes? Common shortcodes are 5 or 6-digit numbers that have been activated on at least 2 mobile phone networks for the same application or service. They allow consumers to interact with media outlets, brands, retailers, governments, and all kinds of other organizations via text messaging. Common shortcodes are administered by the Canadian Wireless Telecommunications Association on behalf of the Canadian wireless service providers. All applicants must begin with reading the Canadian Common Shortcode Application Guidelines. The guidelines provide more details on how to apply for a common shortcode, such as requirements to apply, timeline, lease fees, and program requirements. So, why use common shortcodes? Common shortcodes can add interactivity with your market to almost any campaign. They help target your campaign by delivering to you an audience that is specifically asked to receive your messages. The success of this depends less on the type of product or service being marketed and more on the design of the common shortcode program itself. Next, I'll explain step by step on how to get a common shortcode. After you've read the guidelines, the first step is to select an aggregator. You will need to establish short message peer-to-peer protocol connectivity with the wireless service providers either directly or indirectly. This can be done through an aggregator. A list of aggregators and their connectivity to the Canadian wireless service providers can be found at txt.ca. There, you will find a chart indicating the connectivity each aggregator has with each wireless service provider. Once you've contacted an aggregator to work with, you can now move on to step 2, apply. In the Apply for a Shortcode section at txt.ca, you will find the materials needed to apply for a common shortcode, such as the Canadian Common Shortcode Application Guidelines, the application form, and the deposit and testing forms. Next, an application form must be completed and submitted to CWTA. You will be required to provide administrative information and the shortcode number you wish to apply for. Most importantly, the application form must contain a description as to how the user opts in and interacts with the common shortcode. Step 3 of the application process is the presentation of the common shortcode application form. Once CWTA has reviewed the application form and has determined that it is in compliance with the guidelines, it will be presented to the Shortcode Council, a council comprised of all Canadian wireless service providers that support common shortcodes. New applications are presented to the Shortcode Council every Tuesday. Here are the wireless service providers that can support common shortcodes in Canada. After the application form has been presented to and reviewed by the Shortcode Council, the fourth step is the approval of the common shortcode program. Wireless service providers independently indicate if they want to participate in a common shortcode program. If 2 or more wireless service providers approve a common shortcode program, CWTA will issue a letter of approval. Wireless service providers will assign a provisioning date, which is the date the common shortcode will be live on their networks. After the common shortcode program has been approved, testing must take place. There are 2 types of testing forms that must be completed before the common shortcode can launch commercially: the Ready for Testing form and the Pre-Launch Testing form. All aggregators must notify CWTA when their applicant's common shortcode is ready to be tested on wireless service provider networks. They do this by submitting the Ready for Testing form. CWTA provides this notice to the wireless service providers so they can conduct testing prior to the common shortcode's commercial availability to consumers. This form must be received by CWTA at least 10 business days prior to the activation date. Pre-launch testing is conducted by CWTA to ensure that keywords and calls to action are compliant with the guidelines. Final commercial ads promoting the common shortcode must be provided in the pre-launch testing form. The aggregator is responsible for submitting this form to CWTA 10 business days prior to the common shortcode's commercial launch date. CWTA will confirm with the aggregator once the common shortcode has passed the pre-launch testing process. The common shortcode is now ready for its final step, its launch. After all steps of the application process have been completed, the common shortcode is now ready to launch commercially. To ensure ongoing compliance with the guidelines, CWTA conducts regular monitoring and testing of all common shortcode programs. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you have any questions regarding the common shortcode application process, please feel free to contact us by email or by phone.